Hello and welcome to our third video and recording for this week. Today we're looking at 1 John 2:28. So if you have some facility with Greek, see if you can translate this. And here's my translation. And now, little children, remain in him, in order that, if he should be manifested, we might have boldness and not be ashamed from him in the arrival of him. Well, this is interesting. By the way, in order that if he appears is another way to translate it. It's literally or somewhat mechanically if he should be manifested. But I think if he appears is a fine translation with this particular verb, switching it from passive to active. Boldness, it's interesting. I don't know that there's any intentional wordplay between boldness, which is parousia, and the arrival, which is the parousia. Boldness, parousia at the parousia. I don't know, but maybe just coincidental. I find this expression, we might not be ashamed from him, is curious to me. Maybe we might not receive shame from him. I'm not sure. Maybe I'm overreading it. But the from him doesn't work well in English, but obviously worked fine in Greek. But the parousia, you may have heard of the parousia from theology. Here we have it. I could have translated it at his parousia, but I decided to translate it at his arrival. So there we have it, 1 John 2:28. Let's look at it in a interlinear fashion. So, and now, little children, remain in him. So this is a vocative. It's a neuter plural alpha. Bingo. And now little children, addressing them as little children. The iota is like, I'm Ken, but my mom used to call me Kenny. So teknia is a kind of a diminutive or little children. And then menete we had yesterday, I believe. It's an imperative. It could be translated, and now, little children, you are remaining in him. That would be an indicative translation. But I think the context points us toward an imperative as a command. Be remaining in him. Present tense, present imperative. Be remaining in him, not just in general, but let it be your ongoing kind of state. In order that, so this indicates either a purpose or result clause, and I think this is a purpose clause, in order that we might have boldness and not be ashamed. That's the core of the sentence. But then we have this condition tucked into the purpose clause, in order that if he should be manifested. So this is a conditional clause, as I'll say on the grammar page. We might have boldness and not be ashamed. You'll notice that when we have, these both words, both hina and an, are subjunctive is coming, subjunctive is coming. And so it's a little complicated because this phanerothe is the subjunctive that goes with the an. But skomen is the subjunctive that goes with hina. And also aiskun thomen is also, so the rock hits two subjunctives, hina phanerothe and hina aiskun thomen, in order that we might have, an goes with phanerothe, in order that skomen and in order that may aiskun thomen, in order that we might have, in order that we might not be ashamed. And when you're negating a subjunctive, you use may. This is the form of not that you use with a subjunctive. Okay, digging into the grammar a little bit, some fun grammar here. So I verbally parse this, but here is the parsing officially. It's present because it's meno, so all the letters of the present stem are there. They haven't been altered or affected. It's active because te is a second person plural active ending. The epsilon could mean indicative because it's not fried, but in this particular case, the second person plural present indicative and the second person plural present imperative always look exactly the same. So I'm going to go with imperative here. And now, little children, be staying in him. In order that, so this introduces a purpose clause. It says subjunctive is coming, but as I mentioned, it goes, we have to wait a few words to get its subjunctive in order that we might have. This is the subjunctive that goes with hina. These two words here, as I've said, are a conditional clause. It's a second-class condition. It's the if with on. On is a crashed version of a plus on. The on makes it iffy. And so this also subjunctive is coming, and phanerothe is the subjunctive. See if you want to pause the recording to see if you can parse it. That would be good practice. And now let me tell you my parsing. That theta tells me that it's aorist passive. And then if it's aorist passive, this ending is a little peculiar. And what's happened is it's fried. So normally, if it was indicative, if it were indicative, contrary to fact, because it's not, if it were indicative, it would be something like theta, eta. Yes, it would just be theta, eta, I believe. But with a subscript and the circumflex, this is a fried, epsilon iota has been fried to an eta with a subscript, hanging on for dear life. And so this is a aorist passive subjunctive, third singular from phaneroo. And the omicron has been lengthened before you added the tense suffix of the aorist passive. That's normal. Now, skomen is also subjunctive, going with the hina. It might be hard at first for you to figure out what word this is. You can know quite a few things about it. Men is first person plural and probably active. The omegas suggest that the connecting vowel, perhaps it's either crashed or it's undergone a frying, a lengthening. So it could be subjunctive, but what is sko? Well, this is one where I just have it memorized. This is echo. An echo in the aorist is sko. Don't ask why, just memorize or die. So it's aorist active indicative, first plural, from echo, in order that we might have. And it's aorist, so it's just saying it. There's no kind of action connotation. It's just bleh, in order that we might have boldness and might not be ashamed. So can you parse this? You should be able to parse this if you got the parsings on the previous slide. Men is a first person plural, it's active. That omega looks fried, so it's probably subjunctive, active subjunctive first plural, and it's from aiskuno. The theta tells me it's aorist passive. So it's the aorist passive subjunctive first plural from aiskuno. I think that's the word. I didn't look it up, so I could be wrong, but I think that's the word. Be ashamed. Okay, so let's pronounce it to end up our day. Kai nun teknia menete en auto hina ean phanerothe skomen paresia kai me aiskunthomen apautu en te parousia auto. And so trying to read it at a more normal speed, I'll give it a shot. Kainun teknia menete en auto, hina ean phanerothe, skomen paresian, kai me aiskun thomen apautu, en te parousia autu. And there you have it, our verse for the day, 1 John 2 and verse 28.